Hello and welcome back. I'm Lygo and this is My Life in Football Manager episode 36, and today we'll be hosting 4th in the league Portsmouth in what could be potentially a crucial game in whether we hang around the playoffs or not this season. But before we get into that, if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to leave a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you want to see more Football Manager content on Mondays, Wednesdays and Fridays. So now that the introduction is done, let us catch up from where we left off last time, which was that third round FA Cup tie against Stoke. We managed to get through 3-1 and then we were rewarded with a 4th round FA Cup tie at home against Brighton, and we took them close. It was 2-1 in the end, but the game really was as close as the scoreline suggests. They took the lead initially, we equalised on 82 minutes. I thought the momentum had swung, but only 3 minutes later they then punished us, and we do bow out of the FA Cup, but there's no shame losing to Brighton, and it means that we can continue focusing on the league now, which January continued our patchy form, a couple of wins, a couple of losses and a couple of draws. We started February with a win against West Brom. Hopefully we can continue that today with a win against Portsmouth. And looking towards the end of the season, we've got a reasonable run in now. There are some big teams still in there, Brentford and Aston Villa, Crystal Palace. So there could be some tricky ties, but overall I think it's doable and I think we could be in and around the playoffs come the end of the season. And to help us get there, I did try and make some transfers, but again we didn't have any luck in the transfer market. We were able to bring 3 players in. Xander Smith is a young player for the future and most likely to be a ball-winning midfielder. Currently 2-star ability, 5-star potential, so reasonable transfer I think for 350, rising up to about $500,000. Drew Yearwood was then brought in, and this was really more for just some experience in the midfield. He's not the best player, he's not a complete midfielder, but he's capable of doing everything. As you can see, 3-star ability in any role within that central midfield, so that's the reason he was brought in. And it also meant that in return we could let Blair Walton and also Ollie Ewing go out on loan, so they've gone out on loan to get some game experience. The other notable player leaving the club was Jovan Malcolm. He just wasn't cutting it. He wasn't championship level, so we've moved him on. Got $500,000 for him for a player that we picked up on a free and never really did anything for us. I think that's a good bit of business. And in his place, we again tried to get Ricky J. Jones. He was transfer listed, but he was having none of it. So we opted to bring in Leonardo Rossi from AC Milan. Young Italian striker, can play that advanced forward role. He's got good finishing, good composure, reasonably pacey. Unfortunately, much like O'Hanlon, he's come in, pulled his knee ligaments instead of his hip. So he will be out for about a month or so, which is a bit of a disappointment, but what can you do? So with that all said, that leaves the championship now looking like this. We are in 8th place, a couple of points back now from the top of the table, 9 points off Forest. And with 14 games to go, I think it's unlikely that we'll be in an automatic promotion push. But we are just behind Villa and Portsmouth. If we can get a win at Portsmouth today, as I said in the intro, that really gives us the push towards the playoff spots. So it'd be interesting to see how we get on. So let's move on to today's game. And the team that will be facing Portsmouth looks like this. We've got Yonk in goal, back from international duty. Morgan, Umar, Brook and Lawrence are the back 4. Anderson and Taylor in the midfield. Osborne and Coyle out wide with Spence through the middle. Unfortunately, Spence has had very much a drop-off in form. Was expected, to be honest. He can't keep what he was doing up all season. But he's still playing well, and he is chipping in the assists still. And O'Hanlon leading the line. So let's submit the team, go into the match. And then in the dressing room, we can pump our fists, and we can move into a playoff spot. It's done something for a couple of players. So hopefully, as long as we're competitive today and really showing signs that we can challenge for these top positions, I'd be happy. And we get the fancy intro with it being on TV. Portsmouth also lining up in a 4-2-3-1. So like for like, comes down to who's got the better players, who's possibly got the best instructions. I'd like to think that we're at home, we could go on to win this. And we're in reasonable form. I don't know about Portsmouth, I never checked that. But 15-20 minutes in, we're the one having all the chances. Looking at this, we've got 6 chances so far. Osborne whipping in, free kick, too close to the keeper and easily collected by the Portsmouth keeper. The highlights continuing, and it looks like a Portsmouth attack. They've got a striker through the middle there. Fortunately, the ball didn't go through for him. Spence looking for O'Hanlon. O'Hanlon in behind. Can he get a shot away? What a goal by J. O'Hanlon. 13th goal of the season. I mean, he had a lot to do there. There was a great ball forward from Spence, and he took it on his right foot as well. If we just look here, that's great interception by Anderson. Spence sees the O'Hanlon run, and there's two defenders around him, and to go right-footed at the near post is something special, but he makes it count. We take the lead, and just the encouraging signs that we needed. But as I said, Portsmouth comes straight back onto the attack, and Lawrence, risky control there, but manages to keep hold of the ball and circulate around at the back, and O'Hanlon's never going to win balls like that, unfortunately, at 5'9". But ball comes back to us again. Brook and Anderson, again it's lumped forward, and O'Hanlon does win ahead of that time. It falls to Osborne. Osborne driving at the defence. That's great play by him. Can he apply the finish? He does. Mackenzie Osborne's 6th goal of the season, and what a goal that is, straight from the kickoff. And we're punishing Portsmouth. And I wasn't expecting this. I was expecting a close game, but what a goal this is from Mackenzie Osborne. Drives at the defence, cutting in from that right-hand side into the penalty area and just smashes it across goal, and what a finish that is. And we're 2 to the good now. Portsmouth not able to muster anything going forward. And the longer we can keep it like this, the better. And as I say that, they get the first attempt, and if they're going to shoot like that, they can do that all day long. And I tell you what, we will drop some praise on the team. They're doing well in this first half. If we can make it to half-time now, we can start looking at resting the players. Sion Spence is tiring already. He's had a massive run of games over the Christmas period. And we do get into half-time 2-0 to the good. So we'll outstretch the arms, tell everyone they're doing well, send them back out to keep doing what they're doing. And I tell you what, the table would be interesting if the result stays like this. I mean, shoots us straight back up. Portsmouth losing 3 points, it tightens everything back up, but they're trying to get back into it, and Yonk's forced into a good save down low on his left-hand side there. Now we've got corner to defend. So looping one to the back post, Osborne does well to head the ball clear. Birmingham, Portsmouth pick up the ball. And we don't really do much in closing them down. Brook's there to head it clear, and it's gone out for a throw, and we're still under a little bit of pressure. And they've just brought Danny Ings on. How old is he now? He must be mid-30s. So they're giving up a lot of pace up front, so that's a good sign. And we'll make our first substitutions on the hour. Got a couple of players tiring, so first one off is going to be Sion Spence. Straight swap for Pert Harris. And then the other player we've got Anderson tiring, so Drew Yearwood can come on. And we'll have our first look at Drew Yearwood. I've seen him a couple of times. He's not really done much of note in the couple of games he's played, but he's only in to be a squad player. If he can do a job, that's all I want him to do. But we've got the ball again. Morgan coming down this left-hand side. Nice little 1-2 with Umar. Umar looking forward for O'Hanlon, but O'Hanlon's isolated and never going to get that ball. Gives us a chance to build from the back again. This time Umar going short to Yearwood. Back to Umar. And this time looking for O'Hanlon. O'Hanlon wins the header, nods it out wide to Coyle. Similar to what we saw earlier, but on the other side with Osborne. Coyle cutting in, cuts it back to Yearwood. Pert Harris flicks it in, and 5th goal of the season for Pert Harris. An assist for Drew Yearwood, and Pert Harris in the right place at the right time there. Don't know if that was a scuffed shot from Yearwood, or whether he actually meant to pass it. But Coyle does well, gets into the penalty area, cuts it back to the edge of the area, and I think that is a scuffed shot, but 3-0 to the good now, and we'll make our final substitution. And we've got a couple of players tiring. We've got Trey Coyle, Ben Morgan and Henry Lawrence. And really, I want to take one of the fullbacks off. They play more regularly. I think it's going to be Lawrence. I'll bring Uga Chukwu on and just play him as a no-nonsense fullback. Give him some more game time. Just shore up the defence a little bit. And just finally drop a last bit of praise onto the team. Last 10 minutes. Let's go see the game out. If we can keep a clean sheet as well, that is a huge bonus. And we're still going forward. Coyle with the corner. Umar gets the header. 5th goal of the season for him. We're 4-0 up against Portsmouth today. We've run riot against a very good Portsmouth team. They've not been able to cope with our attack. And from the front to the back, we have been outstanding today. Not one bad performance on the pitch. And into the dressing room we go. Outstretch our arms. Very pleased with everybody. Everybody's happy and motivated, And let's have a look what that's done to the league, and look at that, it's tightened everything back up. We're only 3 points behind Bristol City in third now. But that said, still only 2 points ahead of Aston Villa in eighth, so still all to play for going into this final part of the season. And if we come to the schedule, and looking that we've only got 13 games left now, I don't think I'm going to pick a single game to come back for. I think I'll come back for one that either guarantees us a playoff spot or something interesting towards the end of the season if there's something to play for. But we'll wrap this up there. If you've enjoyed the video, leave a thumbs up down below, subscribe to the channel for more Football Manager content on Mondays, Wednesdays and Fridays. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.